So this was less than pleasant, not ideal. This bad boy, this tongue jack, decided to stop working. And by stop working, I mean like literally it just like collapsed and the whole trailer fell. That'll hold. Welcome back, family travelers. So glad you're here. A little bit of movie magic. This happened a couple of days ago. They caught me replacing this in the rain. Why was I doing things in the rain? Well, because this original one broke, almost fell on me. That's a whole other different story. So anyway, now it's got like a light, so that's cool. We did a lot of changes to this camper, and so we're gonna walk you through those today, and we're also gonna show you how we're prepping for a month-long trip with 2 kids in 1 camper, 2 adults. Yeah, the more I'm thinking about this, I don't know how I feel about it. Are we sure we want to actually do this? What the heck is this, Walmart? Walmart sent us a spare tire without the frickin' rim. There's a picture of the rim in it. What is this? The other addition that we did to the outside of the trailer that might not seem as fun, we added these stabilizer jacks. The camper doesn't come with ones in the front, so we wanted to make sure that the camper wasn't shaking because we're going to be in it for so long. As well, we're going to be on like kind of, you know, uneven areas. Right. Unless you want to like crank this by hand, which I do not. I'm kind of a princess. You know, all you have to do. Oh, look at that.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, right? It's just I don't want to have to break a sweat. I'd rather just like, you know, drink a beer while I'm setting up
instead of crack a backbone.
Exactly. So.
All right, Nick showed you some of the outdoor things, so now follow me in and we'll take a look. I know in our last video we did a little tour, so we'll link to that if you haven't even seen where we started from. Not that we made too many updates, but we'll show you some of the things that we, and by we I mean Nick, handcrafted and kind of added to make it a little bit more kid-friendly. I mean, it was kid-friendly, but you know what I mean. Let's go. So first things first, well, we're in here, pardon our dust, because we are in the middle of packing, so it doesn't look as sharp as it did the first time we showed you. But what I want to show you is a few things that we added. This little guy right here. So Nick also created this. This is our cutting board. So instead of like bringing a cutting board with us, this is like something that I guess you would say protects our stovetop. And then we also use this as a cutting board so that we can use this stove space as like more kitchen counter space. But also, let's lift it up and show you. Ta-da! There's our stove. So we have counter space and stove space all in one.
You're like a regular Vanna White.
I know, I just got a career in it. Oh, we also have, you didn't show them outside what you built, the little step. We have a little step for the children to get inside the RV without having to strain themselves.
Do you think they're getting like a little like, we might be a little too princessy to do?
A little bit. We're going for the glamping concept a little bit. So Nick crafted a step for them, but it is multi-purpose because if you turn it over, you can actually like put storage in it. So that's kind of like, we're calling it a storage system really. Next up, while we were on the Nick DIY tour, 2 more things he created. If you remember to our last video, we weren't sure what our solution was going to be for the top bunk bed rail. Well, Nick has crafted a bed rail. So we have this, and this is removable, but you know, we're not going to remove it, so we're just probably going to keep it there the whole time. This, my friends, is the bunk ladder. So when we did some research, like to find ladders for bunk beds, it was like surprisingly expensive. So Nick just went ahead and created one for us. And so it just slides in and out. A little more graceful than this, but this is
Jesus Christ.
That's why they don't recommend adults sleep up here, but I think that's really the only way you can get up as an adult. Okay, and look at all this headroom space I have. I don't have to slouch at all. Okay, so one of the things about this camper is that it's basically held together with these little guys, command strips. We use them for everything. We got them these little night lights that we put a command strip on. And let's do a little like test. Look at that!
Whoa.
So, you know, why use the camper lights when you can have a Disney princess and Cars nightlight? Voila! You know, with the little, there you go. And then you have to figure out how to get down after that. Here we have this thing filled now with all the essentials, such as, you know, bubble soap, bubble foam soap, and all of Everett's and Olivia's clothes fit inside these 4 packing cubes. The trip hasn't even started, and Nick's already eating all of our s'mores ingredients.
Would you like one?
Yes, thank you. Okay, so I was lying a little bit when I said all of Olivia and Everett's clothes fit into 4 packing cubes. We aren't exactly sure what the weather will be the whole time and whether it's going to be cold or really cold, so we're bringing a winter coat for each of them, and of course those don't fit in the packing cubes, but everything else fits into those 4 packing cubes. Fits perfect. So I realized I showed you the kids' packing cubes, but then I never showed you what was inside the packing cubes. So essentially what I'm bringing for each of them is about 6 long sleeve shirts, 2 t-shirts, 2 pairs of shorts, about 5 pairs of long pants, some pajamas, a couple sweatshirts, shoes, and that's about it. Should be interesting because they go through about 4 outfits a day normally, so we'll make it work. I know this is gonna sound super nerdy and probably this video might seem all over the place, but I would say the #1 thing if you're going on a trip this long is to make checklists, because we just have so much stuff we have to remember, especially for a trip of this length. And we have a checklist for everything. What groceries to buy, what clothes to pack, what to put in the camper, what to put in the car, what meals we're gonna make. I don't know what we'd do without the checklists.
It turns out packing for a month-long road trip with 2 very small kids and 2 adults is a lot of work. We've got clothes, we've got food, we've got all the essentials for the actual camper. There's just so much more than what we're normally used to. Top it all off, it's a really, really long trip. We're going to be gone exactly a month. So we have to make sure that this camper is ready to hold us for that long. And I think the kids can be pretty hard on places that we're staying. So to be here, whew, that's a lot. We did a lot of modifications to the trailer. Added a bunk, stairs, ladder thing. We added in something to hold a baby gate so that way Everett doesn't fall out of bed. We added a little like, just a little like rail so Olivia doesn't have to worry about falling out of the top bunk. We added a curtain so that way we had our own space. We built a step to get in for unlevel stuff. Man, there's just a lot. I still have a lot to do too. I have to put in a door to access some of our storage. I added a power jack so that way we could, you know, not have to crank it up and down all the time. Added some extra stabilizers because the ground is so freaking unlevel in the mountains. And just, you name it, we've done it and we've added to it. Even the spare tire rack, which, by the way, Walmart, if you're going to sell products, don't show product images with hubcaps if they don't come with them. Like that's, what am I going to do with the tire? Nothing. That's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to have to return it and I'm going to have to go and buy a whole new tire. This is really annoying.
Alright, so now, what are some of the things that we are packing, primarily for the kids, but also for the camper, for a month-long trip? Because as much traveling as we've done, I don't think that we've ever done this long of a trip before. So we do plan on using like laundry facilities and things like that at the campground, so we are not packing a ton of clothes. And one of the big things that we learned when we did like our trial run to see how things were gonna go is that our nighttime routine is going to be very different than it is at home, because we're 4 people living in this one room, essentially. So we would try to put Everett to bed. He normally goes to bed around 7-ish, and he was having none of it. Like, he just wanted to watch out the window and see what was going on. He probably felt a little uncomfortable because this isn't his normal sleeping spot. So we will keep you updated on how that goes. That's the thing that I think we're most curious how that's gonna go. But Nick's working on a solution for the window, you know, because he gets FOMO quite often, and he doesn't want to miss, you know, what's going on outside the camper. But that's kind of the thing that we're most focused on right now, is trying to figure out the bedtime routine, morning routine, how that's gonna go. So the other thing that we're trying to figure out right now is food, and how we're gonna make sure that we have enough food while we're gone. We have a very small fridge plus a little cooler, and that's pretty much all the storage. We have some cabinets that we're kind of using just for little things here and there. Other than that, we don't have a whole lot of room for food. We're just kind of putting it in bins and leaving it in the car or outside the camper, except in Yellowstone. We know that, you know, there's bears, and we've accounted for that. But we basically did like a grocery order that I have coming the day before we're gonna leave, and that has enough essentials to kind of get us through the first, I would say, 4 or 5 days. And we're gonna be staying at Harvest Hosts those first 3 days, so we needed things that you could cook over fire or on our stove, because propane is the only thing that we're gonna be able to use since we're not connected to electricity. But outside of just the first couple days, throughout the whole trip, we've essentially been planning everything around the Instant Pot, because that's super easy, and we actually have never owned one before, but we did a few test recipes, and I do not know how we lived without one, because you can make everything in it, and it's life-changing. So we're planning on doing a lot of our cooking basically in the Instant Pot and on the grill, and that's essentially how we'll do most of our cooking. So we are leaving in 2 days' time.
Sorry, I can't not think of that Disney book. 3 days' time.
What
That
Disney
stupid
book?
Disney reader thing, it always says it.
Okay, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, we are leaving in 2 days' time. And we're trying to get everything just like, we're like fast and furious, making sure we get everything.
Stuff.
Yeah, we have lots of stuff, and we're not used to it, because normally, like, we don't even have the option to bring all this stuff. It's like you can only fit what you have on a carry-on, which means that you are very limited and you can only bring the essentials. So this is a brand new world for us.
This feels like that room in Harry Potter where you touch something and it explodes and you have like 1,000 other things.
I know. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what it's like packing for a month-long trip with 2 kids and 2 adults and 1 small camper. We, like I said, we'll be leaving in a couple days, and we'll be filming everything, showing you from a newbie standpoint everything we do with the camper, but also all of the cool places we visit along the way.
All the things we'll probably mess up.
Yes, so it should be pretty entertaining. Make sure you stay tuned for that. But until then,
Bon voyage!